Good morning, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party. My buddy Rhett, and I got a almond for her. Here you go, girl. And um, yeah, it's supposed to rain today. It's like 74 degrees. It felt hotter than that out there. It's the very last day of July 31st, 2025. So I'll be looking forward to my friendly reminder from HR that I need to make sure I have my time time card checked in by the end of the day. So we had a bug, and we were able to fix it. And basically, I believe, anyways, the way you would see this bug is you would go like adviz, adviz, adviz. So you'd add 16 visualizations, and then go into this view, you delete the second one, go back to this view, and you add a visualization. Ah, no, it's still broken. Okay, so I thought we'd fix it, and that actually, so I had found like some more narrowed down bugs where I was like, oh, okay, so this is the same bug, but I don't know, smaller. Well, whatever we did on the smaller got fixed, but if you circle back to the original bug, it's still there. That is not um, that is not a novel thing for me. I have done that plenty of times, and when I was much newer, I would fix the more base level bug and assume that the original bug was fixed, and then commit it, turn it in for QA to be like, what did you do? And this would have been a good example because yesterday I did some stuff that I thought indicated that this problem was no longer a problem. Anyways, so we do know of another problem that's a lower level problem, and that's that if we go like this, let's just reload and add one of these. So we have this animation function that's just running, and that's the thing that's causing the everything to update here. Now the problem is that if I go into this view and I delete this thing, um, I do in fact delete it, but the animation function is still running. And we really don't want that animation function to be running anymore. So I do have an animation service that's so so one thing that always in my head is always like kind of I always get under a mis uh, understanding is I always think that ThreeJS has some animation piece inside of it. I don't know why, but no, the animation is completely handled by our own custom code. And so I can put a breakpoint right here, and it's going to stop the next time it gets there, and it stopped. All right, so the mission here, probably should have started with this, is to try to get this function from stopping, try to get to stop running completely, so that we don't have 1,000 of these functions running. So and I found that the easiest way to do something like this is to try to figure out where something's getting called from is in the call stack. Um, so it's saying that this is on breakpoint. So that's no luck. I was thinking that um, we would be able to work our way backwards from here to figure out why this thing got called, but um, I don't. It doesn't. I've never seen this before where this doesn't show anything. It just like says, "Hey, it just ran on its own." So let's see. I don't know what to do. I really, 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 really don't. Um, let's see. Animation function. What file is this? This is animation service. Okay, I'm going to close everything. Close others. And I'm going to say Control P, animation, service. And then, yeah, this is what we're dealing with here. So this created an animation function for ID, and what did it return? So it returns nothing. Oh no, it returns a function. Okay. So Control F. Let's see where this guy gets. So he does not get called from here, from within this file, from within the animation service. So Control B. And I had a whole idea of how I thought all this was working and all that, and man, was I wrong. Wrong again. Hey, Ron. All right, so I get my render function, set animation function. Okay. And then it gives it, so this is what sets the animation function. So let's see what happens in there. Set animation loop function. Are we still in R code? Nope, we are in ThreeJS. Yeah, we're in ThreeJS source code. And this returns nothing. Okay, so I just, does this guy get called over and over again? Does it keep setting the function? Or does it, I think it just happens once. Set animation function. Because I can't, I feel like this would, I don't know, like I need to keep calling this, so saying, hey, on the next loop, do this. I don't know if this is getting called over and over again, or like if I just keep setting it over and over again, or if once you set it, you forget it, it just keeps doing its own thing. I think that's the hard part. That's the part I'm struggling with. I think I must still be in the debugger. I think my, maybe not. Okay. Okay, so this is where, oh, okay, so we don't want to stop on this. This is the thing that just runs over and over and over again. We don't know why it's running over and over again. I mean, we know what its job is and why we'd want it to do that. We don't know what is, like, if we're telling it over and over again to run, or if, okay, so yeah, this set animation function happened one time. Okay. I don't know why I'm keeping that, but I'm assuming I'm going to need it. So that only gets called once. Okay, so let's see if ChatGPT has any ideas, because I honestly am completely and utterly stumped as to what to do about this. Okay, so dot render. Okay, so and I am passing it function think this is what I'm doing. So I'm just going to tell it what I'm doing so it can correct me if that is not what I'm doing. That internally uses the request, but it's additional support for WebXR. Okay. Okay. Crash after. Okay, so okay. And, that like basically this function, I believe, render, this function is the thing that handles the animation. Cube. Problem is that the function keeps running after I delete the cube. Code within the function to handle a deleted cube. But it would be better if the function didn't run anymore. And I don't even know if this is exactly, okay, let's just think through this. So set animation function, and this sends it a function. And we've seen the function that it sends it. Okay. So the animation function detected deleted cube is a practical workaround. It's much better and cleaner to stop the animation loop entirely when the cube is deleted. Or the loop from running. Okay, so I feel like I'm definitely misunderstanding something. Okay. Okay, so I definitely am totally misunderstanding something. Okay, and I think it's because Dakota shush. Let's see. If I add one, add two. Okay, so these renders are running, but it's a render in multiple visualizations, complete visualizations. So this renderer okay, so it looks like when I delete, I need to go into the renderer and set its loop, set the animation loop to null. Okay, so let me think that out loud again. When geometry dispose, when we delete the renderer will has a set animation loop. We need to delete. We need to send that a null, and that will stop its function from running. it's really a lot to think about. Okay, so, and this is probably it. Okay. So here, I think this is slightly outside of my, and then, okay, let's just do this, the renderer. I believe it's a ThreeJS renderer. I believe that's what we're getting here. And I can't remember right off the top of my head what it is, so I'm just going to say string, which should throw an error. No. Okay. Okay, so up here we do almost identical thing, right? And here I call it stid, which I don't even think, I think that's how I stored them in the UI or in the dictionary up top. It is a bit confusing. And then I think this can go to renderer. See, it's not a okay. I don't think that is. I think that's not. I think that's an ST. Renders dict. Well, I say it's a ThreeJS. Okay, so no, it is a renderer. Okay. And then, yeah, this I don't think does anything. Which I think I'll even get an error now if I do this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even think, yeah, that's not even a function on there. And then we want to set animation loop to null. And supposedly this will hopefully stop the function once we delete it. So what we're hoping for is that when we add a visualization, we get our animation function, and then when we delete it, oh. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, so now that issue is gone, which is pretty cool. I would say that I have like a decent amount of like confidence in that answer, that I really like. I think I fully expected it to stop. I don't really like the idea that with the request animation frame there that I guess it'll, so I guess where I was confused was I thought that there was like one request animation frame, but there's actually one for each visualization, which makes sense. And so I was kind of thinking on a more global, like, oh, what do I delete or whatever. But so I think we still have the other problem. Oops. It's so much easier to see in this mode. Okay. did was we went over here, deleted the second one, come back over here, and we try to add one. Okay, so now that's working. That part is a little confusing to me. I feel like, but I feel like it's tested. I mean, yeah, I think that's working. All right, I think that the bug is destroyed. And I know I kind of backed into the solution. I didn't really like solidly get it, but basically, and I wonder, I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's see, let's go back to this thing here. Is this where I made the change? No. Wonder if we even need this anymore. I have to think about that. We definitely want that. Is this it? Okay, let's just look in here. Delete renderer by ID is what I care about. And it's in renderer service.ts line 56. That's how I should have done that. There's line 56. So basically, it's weird. Okay, so even though we delete the renderer from the dictionary, the renderer must still exist. Now, I don't know if it only existed because I don't know if it only like existed because it had a reference to itself when it was running in the animation, or if it doesn't exist. And I don't know, is there... Okay, so I want to ask ChatGPT. This is something I've always been a little bit confused by. Okay, so this code. And I think this is probably the biggest criticism people have of JavaScript in general. But it does not dispose of the... So this is the thing, right? Delete only removes the property from the object. It does not dispose of any memory or stop running animations. Like, so if and it's currently running, then just delete it from the dictionary. It doesn't stop the animation. Ah, render dispose. I feel like I'd rather... Oh, it doesn't matter. It's going to run this next line before it does. Well, who knows, though? I think I would rather do it the other way around. I don't know why. So it seems... render dispose should come after delete, or of it is because within it makes more sense to, especially in the cleanup manual, async. See, the thing is yeah, the no, it in fact should happen before delete. Here's why. After this, you no longer have access to the object to call on anything. It's synchronous, it does clean up. All right, okay, they've got me convinced. So what I want to do is render dot dispose, and then I think that will go a long ways towards making sure that like everything in ThreeJS is gone. All right, I don't think that would hurt anything, but hey, you can never tell. Console. Add, delete. Wait. Oh, did what I think happened just happen? Did it delete both of them? Add this. Okay, so we have two of them, and now if we delete one of them, so one should go away, but 9 should still keep coming. Oh. Okay, 9 is still coming. Okay, I thought, oh man, this somehow was disposed of, and it's still rotating, so that's good. So I'm going to call that a victory. I think we are victorious. I think everything that should be done. I kind of wish I had gotten a bit of a better grasp on the okay, this I want to change back because it is actually a delete renderer ID. So I'm glad. Now we should get something broken. Okay, so this is broken because I just redid it back to it. I want the name of the function it uses. And then I want to look at it in this view here and go over there. Delete. Oh, that is what we want to call it. It used to be called this, though. Delete visualization for renderer ID. Add, delete. Okay, nothing seems to be broken. Let's see if there's anything weird in the console log. Okay, so that didn't break anything, so that's good. And that's something I've actually been stressing about a little bit is like, I didn't like that rename after all. So actually, I'm going to want to do exactly what I was saying before, and that is I'm going to want to undo the last commit and join this one up with that commit. I think this is nothing. I was a little worried we were going to go off the rails here. Okay, so we know it should not be a viz. Okay, I know we want to get rid of this. Okay, so yeah, this comment is nothing but confusing now. So I don't know what's different in there now. So let's go. Let's start all over. Let's go. So in our TypeScript here, we basically just added delete visualization for render ID. So we just added a whole new line of code. Delete visualization for render ID in the visualization service. We added a Boolean true. I guess we don't need it, but I think it's helpful. It may come in helpful. I feel like this is just safe code. Okay, if there's some sort of timing issue, if for some reason this isn't quite deleted, like it might run 2 more times before it's deleted. Who knows what the timing sorts of things that are going on in here is. So like if you don't have anything to animate, don't animate anything. And that's just initialization, and that's just setting it. We have dictionaries all over the place. Death by dictionary. All right, so let's go ahead and what we can do is we can just click in here and say revert this back to the original. Okay, I can't even figure out what that's doing. So let me save this. I think I made a change in there. So save that, come up here. And our husky is getting more and more vocal every day. That's what he does when he wants to play. Okay, so doesn't look like this did anything. Console log. All right. I don't even remember why we did that. It looks like we got something down here that needs to go away. A console log. 22. And another console log. Because I'm going to stash this and put it back in, so I want as little chance of a sort of a collision as possible. Because things can get so weird. It can go so nice and clean, and it can go so off the rails. Okay, so I don't may need Dakota. Shush. I don't know what the difference is here. Oh, okay, I renamed delete to filter. Renamed that to filter, and then I created a new delete visualization for render ID. Oh yeah, that's one I just saw that was called. Probably don't need that extra line. So delete visualization for renderer ID. That's everything. Let's do another once over again. I want every line to be as terse as possible, because it's such a pain in the butt trying to merge things if you get a conflict. And I really don't understand the whole stash conflict thing. But I think that's more of a larger, I don't understand Git. And I don't think I've only met a handful of people that I think understood it better than me. And I don't understand it very well. I need to build like a tool that does Git. And in the process of building the tool, you get to where you understand it, because you have to understand all the intricacies. So it looks like we're good. All right, so now let's do this. And this is like high stress. Okay. So git stash. And I think the one thing I really like about using this as my stash is you get to type in a message. So bug fix for delete. So that's the name of my stash. And then I know there's like a way that you can see all your stashes. Okay, so now I want to git reset head tilde1. Oh, I think that we did dash dash soft. Let's go to ChatGPT. It should be in my history. Get soft. Yep, get reset head 1. Did that from memory. Okay, now I want to get stash pop. Stash pop. And I'm doing all of this so that I only have one big commit for everything. But now I'm going to have to run unit tests again because I know. There we go. Oh, that's kind of cool. So all my old ones are staged, and everything I just popped out is new. So it's easy to differentiate between what I just pulled in and what I didn't. And so let's just double check that, just make sure. Yeah, so this is the new stuff. Yep, deleted. Now, I think what I normally do at this point is unstage everything. Or, yeah, unstage all. All right. So now, basically, I think we do the npm run test, and we're back to unit testing. And then we'll go back to end-to-end testing. Unit tests, I don't know. I think everything that we wrote is easy to unit test. I can't remember for sure, but should be pretty straightforward to unit test everything. I know even in my current job, I'll sometimes write code and I'm like, oh man, that would be hard to unit test. Like every time I write any code, it's just like unit test is not far from my mind. I do love the idea of the concept that maybe I could get to the point where I write a bunch of code and then like I don't have to refactor it all to do when I do my unit testing. It's just like, oh, yeah, all this is perfectly set up for unit testing, just out of habit. Man, it's amazing how long that's taking. There we go. So here are the tests of running. Uh-oh, we failed a test. Ooh, we failed 2 tests. And then cannot read properties of undefined of set animation loop. Okay, yeah, so we're calling there. We must have popped it up. So, and that's both of them are the same issue. It should be pretty straightforward to fix. I'm also curious though, before get too. Nah, I guess we should focus on fixing first. There's time and place for everything. I really want to look at like the code coverage, but I guess fixing these is more important. App tabular layout component and visualization service should render an item. App should remove a visualization based on ID. So let's go to the app tabular layout component. I guess I want to just go into my package and delete everything and close all others. And now we want to go to this view here, and then this guy right here, app tabular layout, and we want to go into the unit tests. And what line is dying? Service, render service, line 45 is what is upset. Okay, so should delete a renderer item. So that's this guy, okay. So when it goes in here, go to definition, it has an ID. And then it tries to call this, which then intent. So what does this thing return? I think it returns a true or false. So it returns whether it actually deleted it. So I think that's going to be a false. So I think I could just add. I think it's fair. Actually, I think this is a good catch. Now that I think about it, it's maybe a catch that would never happen, but yeah, if we don't actually delete anything, we probably shouldn't try this thing. Oh, but then, yeah, I don't want to handle that there though. Well, I don't know. See, because I'm adding a branch, and adding a branch makes life a lot harder. All right. So back to, well, okay, I'm actually just curious now if I mean, this won't help me for unit test coverage. This will help me for passing. Deleted. So if we actually delete something, let's see if we drop to 1 failure. And I think we have to refresh to get it to actually, no, what was it that we did that, well, maybe that was it. Yep. Oh, we still have 2 failures with this one. Oh, it's just, okay, so visualization should delete of undefined reading set animation loop. App tabular layout component. Okay, so that actually didn't even work. I don't think anyways. Let's see, let's go over here, see what I did. Should delete a renderer item. And basically I thought, oh, okay, I'll just give it a number. Doesn't even have to exist. Because all it does is do this, UI service deleted. Okay, so I think I just added that code. Okay, I'm just curious. If I remove this, does that, am I actually wrong? I thought maybe it's something in there. I thought it was something in here, but there's still two. Okay, so I was actually wrong. It looks like it was in this delete renderer. All right, and I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna comment all of this out. It's amazing how much time unit tests consume. Do you need water? Do you need water, Rhett? Yeah, okay, so that is causing a problem. And now we thought this was the culprit. And I mean, we thought that the other one was a culprit. We thought this one was working just fine. But nope, it isn't. Okay, so now let's come over here. So now we need to dig into delete render ID and make decisions. Okay, so delete renderer. All right, so let's just comment this out. Look back real quick. Okay, so I'm just calling the one thing. So I'm just gonna comment all of this out. Let's see if that one starts passing again. Just at this point, just taking a big just broad brush strokes. Okay, so this is actually a different bug. Okay, so let's actually do this because we want to focus on just this one test. Okay, now expected true to be false. Okay. Delete render item. Okay, so it's not breaking though, like before. So before what was happening is, let's see. Let me just double check now. When we were trying to do this, something was breaking. Yeah, so here's where it ends up getting this animation loop error. Okay, so I doubt it's probably happening in here. Nope. Let's try in here now. So we're going to have a different error, but it'll just be like expected true when it got false or something like that. Yeah, so this is actually where we want to be. So I don't think this is the problem then. Looks like it's just in this prune visualization. Okay, so it's definitely in here. And so we'll just double click and our animation error will be back. So set animation loop. So in prune visualizations by renderer. So I think this thing, we're like kind of going deep into things and trying to figure things out as we crawl in. I think that because of the language I speak, I'm finely tuned for that. I think where I really struggle is when I'm trying to remember, like, oh, okay, so this is the animation and that's over there, and trying to picture things in parallel happening. That's where I really struggle. Okay, so something in here is, and I'm guessing it's this guy right here. This renders delete renderer by ID. So true, we're back to true false, so that's a good thing. All right, so now let's dig down into, and now that I think about it, I feel like my Spanish speaking friends from Dominican were very were very, like, they would get very impatient because I would be like digging through when they've already got it in their head, oh, okay, it's in this spot, because they can kind of picture everything. So I think I want to add maybe if renderer. Or maybe I can put, yeah. This will likely come back to bite me in coverage, because we're adding we're adding okay, so now we're back to true false being the problem. We're adding a branch there, and branches are notoriously hard to unit test. Okay. We don't want that. And hopefully we get a pass. Yep, we got a pass. We got a pass, everybody. All right, so let's see if the other one is still broken. I think the other one might be fixed too, because it was probably running into the exact same line of code that was breaking. All right, so that's good. We're all of our unit tests are passing. Let's see what our, we're 100% coverage. And then yeah, it'd be really interesting to understand that. But yeah, so we are at 100% coverage. We have our unit tests, and now the next thing would be so I'm done with unit tests because I have the 100%. I know I was for a while there running unit tests by suite. Probably a good idea, but I'm not doing that this time around. I've spent so much time on unit tests. So tomorrow, back to end-to-end testing. So tomorrow will be Friday. So yeah, it took like a whole week to get through this. Bug, but I don't know. I had no idea. Like those are the worst kind. You know, when they ask you to predict how long is it going to take, and you're like, ooh, we just don't even know. It could be, small. It could be big. But anyways, so yeah, back to end-to-end testing tomorrow, and maybe I think I think they should all be passing now, and then we're gonna want to do like deleting, and well, we're gonna want to do deleting, and we're gonna want to do behaviors when we're in reflow versus not in reflow, because so like right now I know it seems weird, but basically, we're gonna add. I'm gonna want to add like the ability to like drag these around, And if you're in reflow, you're going to lose your drag. But if you're not in reflow, it'll stay where you dragged it. And, you know, because I want to be able to show multiple visualizations on top of each other. So so that's that. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.